All right, so for the spaceship landing here, so it appearing, let's find that and let's go over that one. So for this one, I actually layered quite a few sounds, well, 3 sounds here. So let's see what they are. Okay, so I didn't do too much for that one. Okay, let's have a listen to this first one here. All right, so this first sound, actually the first 2 sounds here are from my Magic sound pack. So I just kind of dragged them in here and just layered them. So this one is a cast, a spell cast, and yeah, it's just a whoosh. I thought basically I was looking for sounds that could fit, that was kind of a whoosh sound, just to match the ship appearing. So I wanted kind of a something like that. And I was also trying to find a sound that could work on its own. So I thought this sound could work on its own originally. So that's how I came up with that. I think I didn't stay with it because when I played it in the mix, it was kind of muddled and it wasn't enough. And yeah, so that's why I came up with other sounds. So this is the second sound I came up with. And that's the sound that you really hear in the mix. Again, this sound from my Magic sound pack. And let's see what I did for this one. So I just removed a bit of the highs because it was quite, oh, not wrong one. This one I didn't do anything. I just balanced it, so -12. This one I removed a bit of the highs because it was a little bright and I really want to make room for this second sound here. So that's what that is. All right, so for this last sound here though, let's have a listen to what it is. Again, this sound is also from the Sonus GDC free pack. So again, Sonus, every year they give out free samples from their stores, and this is one of them. It's just igniting a fire or something like that sound, and it was perfect. I thought it worked really well for like seeing a spaceship fly through the air like that. So that's what I put there. So it kind of sounds like a spaceship flying, right? It just sounds like the low rumble and the distortion of a spaceship flying. So all together now. And you'll see this sound. It'll come back later in the spaceship sound as well. So let's hear what that sounds like. Right? So I don't know if you noticed, but right here, I have that exact same fire ignite sound that I used when the ship first appeared way back here. And I used it here as that kind of distortion and boomy layer. So this is the layer of air. So it's the layer, like if you look at the spaceship, you can see like the air going around it. That's kind of what I was trying to imitate and emulate. It's kind of the air and the pressure and the distortion of that was causing. So that's what that is. And if I look here, yeah, look, I boosted the low end. So let's listen to what that sounds like without it. So. Right, so it just adds a lot more intensity when I put that in. So let's listen again. So what I could have done, and maybe that would have been better, is automate the level of this. So right now it's at 7 dB, but as the ship goes, so starts from here and it gets closer and closer and closer, I probably could have like automated the dB, the level, so that it rises as the spaceship moves and comes closer and closer to Earth. So that's something I could have done. I didn't think about it during the time, but anyways, it still works. I have a ducking here. That's probably for some musical element though. Anyway, so that's one sound here. All right, the next sound was the actual sound of the spaceship, and I wanted something sci-fi. Of course, this is supposed to be like a sci-fi kind of game, futuristic game. Yeah, so let's see what this sounds like. So what this sound is actually from my vehicle flyby sound pack. And the way I created this actually was with Massive, Massive by Native Instruments. I just created a synth patch and had some macros going, and that was automating a bunch of parameters, and that's how I created this patch. So actually, if you guys want to know how I created this kind of synth or sci-fi sound, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll make a video about this if you guys are interested, or just leave a like on the video, and then I'll know. But yeah, that's where this sound came from. So I kind of dropped that in. This is actually, as you can see, the engine starting up. So what I did is I just used that for it starting up. So that's why it's rising in pitch and rising in intensity. And it also works as the spaceship comes closer and closer to Earth. It's rising in intensity. And that's how I get that. And then once I'm in this middle section, the ship is kind of idle. So I kind of took away that sound until the ship leaves again, which I put up here. And that's what that sound is. So all three together now, if we listen. There you go. All right, so now this last section here. Oh, you know what? I did put that sci-fi vehicle sound down here when it was idle. So down here, I actually put the vehicle sound of the sound design. I put it at the full RPM so that it was a consistent loop. And then once I had that loop going, I just put it in here, put in a little fade at the beginning and at the end, and that's basically it for here. I don't think I added, yeah, I didn't add anything. No, nothing there. For up here, again, the sci-fi, again, me boosting here. I boosted quite a bit more. I boosted 5 dB instead of just 3. So, but yeah, same idea as before here. So that's that. All right, let's look at the when the spaceship is idle and is about to drop the box here. So I added 2 other layers to make, basically I wanted to bring in a different sound to the spaceship. So if you look at the video, if I was just going to keep these sounds here, it sounds okay, but when the camera angle changes, you kind of expect a change in sound. So let's have a look. Right, you kind of expect a change in sound, and there is a change because I'm ducking out certain sounds and then bringing other, like I'm bringing the full RPM sound in here, but it's all the same from the same vehicle sound, right? It's all the same vehicle sound, and then this is all the same fire igniting sound. So there's nothing kind of new when the camera angle changes to here, and when it changes to here, you suddenly feel a lot closer to the ship. So you really need to have a new kind of element or layer to the sound. That's where I brought these layers in. So let's have a listen to this first one here. There you go. And the way I created, actually, I didn't even create this. This is again from the Sonus free pack. But what I did here is I automated the pitch with a manipulator so that when the spaceship leaves, it was actually ducking down in pitch. So let's have a listen here. So actually you can see here, if you look at the format, it starts at -24, and you'll see as the spaceship comes into view, comes into the camera, you'll see the format rise, and then when it leaves, it'll come back down. So just have a look here. Right, so that's just me automating the format here, the pitch, so that it changes as the ship comes in and leaves. And I did the exact same thing here for this sound. So let's, again, same technique here. I raised it 2 dB near the middle here just to bring out this sound. So let's have a listen to the sound without anything. So it's a cool, it's a good sound, good spaceship sound. What I did is I added, again, manipulator to pitch to shift the sound, and Spectre. So if I do just Spectre here for a sec. Again, it's hard to tell because of the loudness, like it's getting so much louder, you can't tell what is actually changing, but I find it adds just a lot more definition to the main body of the sound. Anyways, then I added a manipulator here, and again, same idea, look at the format here, and you'll see how it changes as the ship comes in and as it leaves. All right, so just as it leaves, not as it came in, but you get the idea. So the two together. By the way, the track spacer here, this is just for me to make room for, I think it was just for the music and stuff. So it's, this is, I was using this to duck certain elements, but anyways, it's not, it's not really have to do with the sound design here. Right, so that makes the vehicle feel so much closer whenever it's like changing from here to here, right, when it comes in front of us. So let's listen to all of these together now. Right, so there's that sound. And then for the sound of the load here just dropping is just this impact sound here, and I'll play it for you guys and I'll tell you a bit about it after. Right, and as you can see, I didn't do any edits or anything to this, and the reason is because this came already like this, and this is from, so this sound is actually from Boom Library, because they do free giveaways every month. They give away a few sound effects from their sound packs, and I'm pretty sure this is where I got it from. So Cinematic Metal Impacts, this is from one of their months. They had a freebie, and yeah, it just it worked perfectly well in this situation. So I just stuck it in there, and I thought it was great. All right, so let's listen to everything together now from the beginning of the ship here. Right here. All right, and I actually missed one layer here because I added it a bit later. And it was the swoosh of, like, when the ship lands like this, you can start to see air kind of being thrown everywhere from the ship being so close to the ground. And that's what this here is. So let's listen to that. So the way I created that, actually, I don't even remember how I created that. It's just from my sound pack. Yeah, it's just from my Magic sound pack. So there, I kind of remember how I created it, but I mean, it'd be a long process to explain in this video. But yeah, I just kind of put that in there. It's a spell cast, and then yeah, I thought it worked really well just for that landing of the ship. So if I play it together. Like that. There you go. All right, so now let's move on here to these ambient sounds. So let's just play them. So this was just an ambient sound just to kind of set the mood for the scene here, where the door is going to be open and then the character is revealed. So if I had nothing there, like if these were muted, there'd be no sounds. Right, so this is really just to set the mood for these characters. And where I got these, again, I think both of these were from Keep Forest. If you go to keepforest.com, again, their free section, they have a free section where they have like free samples of their sound packs that they have and their sound design. And then I just stuck these in here, and they were perfect for this scene. All right, let's move on here to the door. So for the door opening, I'll just play it here, and then we'll go and kind of dissect each layer. All right, so the way I created that, well, first of all, before I started creating that, the developers wanted something very they wanted something futuristic when the door was opening right here, and they wanted something to sound like a or like some sort of air release when the door was opening, right? So that's what I was going for here. So let's see this first layer. I thought that was pretty cool. That sounded kind of future, and actually this is what I look for. If you can see here, future weapons. Again, this from Sonus GDC whatever year it was, 2017, 2018, or 2019, don't remember. But this from their free pack, and there was this future weapon sound. I think this is from Sound Morph actually. So yeah, just from Sound Morph, and then again this exact same strategy here, just putting 3 dB gain right in the middle. And did I pitch it? I must have pitch shifted down. Yeah, pitched it down 8. So if I take those off, let's hear that. So that's the sound. It's cool. It's a bit bright though, so I wanted to add something. So with the spectrum, cool. And then with the pitch down, right? I think it worked very well for the door. All right, the next layer I had here is this. Again, another thing from GDC, their free sounds, and it's just a whooshy air sound. Let's see how I created that. So I'll take off all of these. See, you can barely hear it without anything on. So if I put something on here, let's put them on one at a time here. So big changes here. So I added, again, you can see here if I remove this top one, you can see here again the exact same thing, me boosting the middle layer because I like to boost the body of the sound so it's more pleasing to the ear. And then I added this top layer because that adds the brightness. So let's hear it just without. So that's great, but I want it to be a lot brighter and to feel a lot closer. So whenever you're lifting this kind of the top end of the frequency, you're gonna feel like the sounds are a lot closer. That's what I was going for here. So let's listen to that. Right, so it definitely feels a lot closer when you're doing that. So that's why I did that there. And I cut out some of the lows with the EQ here. Because this sound here was already taking care of the low. So I didn't want anything to be in the way for this whoosh sound. Yeah. So this sound, I didn't want anything to be in the way for the lows. So that's why I cut that out. Of course, added a bit of reverb to make it airy and spatial. Can't really hear much of a difference, but anyways, I put that in there. And then a delay, sorry. It kind of makes it sound, kind of gives it a chorus effect or a flanger effect or something like that. So anyways, those two together now. So again, so that whole point of these two sounds is to get that sci-fi sound of the door opening and then the air release. So that's what I was going for here. All right, so for the next sound here, again, it kind of goes with this first sound. So if we put it together, right? And this sound is, again, from my Magic Sound Pack. It's just an impact sound. And I thought it was kind of a futuristic sound, so I thought it would work well because I thought, so if you listen to these two sounds, I think they're kind of thin together. Especially it's not so much that they're thin together, it's that this one sound is very transient heavy at the beginning, but then there's nothing that carries through. So then with this Magic sound, it kind of elongates it basically. At least that was my idea, or that's the feel of it. So that's how I created that there. All right, so for the door opening here, again, this is from Sonus, the GDC free pack. Same technique here, boosting the middle. And that's pretty much it. Didn't change much here, just put in some fade ins, some fade outs. Let's listen to this one. This is again from Keep Force. They have their free samples on their website. And I cut some of the highs to give a low punch. This next sound, same thing from Keep Force, their free pack. Really low boom and rattling and distortion. And finally, this last sound is a whoosh, which is probably the main body of the sound. So if I put all of these together for the door opening, right, it gives that big feel like they're in a big open space. So I think that works pretty well. Oh, and I also had this little impact up here. which kind of brings it kind of makes it feel a bit closer. That's what this is doing here. So let's have a listen to all of these together now with the ambient sounds. And that's pretty much it for that.